To our brothers and sisters in the American Southeast dealing with the effects of Hurricanes Helene and Hurricane Milton, and to those in the Bighorn Mountains of Wyoming, we are here for you. We are praying for you. Help is on the way. We're also praying for our friends in Mexico who are dealing with the effects of Hurricane John in the Acapulco area. The Scene Projects are brought to you by these fine sponsors. List with Linda B. Cufflinks.com. J.H. & Sons Menswear. Kathmandu Campground and RV Park in Sturgis, South Dakota. The Den. Sioux Falls' newest live music venue at 909 Northwest Avenue in Sioux Falls. Sunny Radio and SiouxFallsPodcast.com. Welcome into a special edition of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Starts, and with me today is Renee Anderson. Renee is from Gilda's Club, Minnesota, and Gilda's Club is the beneficiary of a fundraiser that our friend Katy Tessman is doing this weekend, October 18th. And we are so happy to have you on the show. Welcome, Renee.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, for our listeners, why don't you give us a little bit of background on, the genesis of the club, and we'll kind of start there.
Yes, Gilda's Club Minnesota is an organization that's built by the community for the community. It is connected to a larger a tree of organizations is a good way to say it. That all do the same thing. We all have the same program of support, but we're all run independently. So our location was founded in 2014, so this is our 10th anniversary year of being open. We were formerly Gilda's Club Twin Cities, but we've expanded to support Minnesotans anywhere that they are impacted by cancer, so that no one has to face cancer alone. So we offer a lot of support both in person and virtually.
That is awesome. And what is the core of what the club does to support these people?
That is a great question, and one we get asked all the time. So we have 5 basic cornerstones that our comprehensive evidence-based program rests on. So one is support groups, where you can talk with others who understand, what you're going through. And it brings comfort in knowing that you're not alone. We have also healthy lifestyle classes, based on nutrition, exercise, mind-body practices like yoga or qigong, and expressive arts classes. Then we have education sessions and workshops on a variety of topics that are taught by subject matter experts. Then we have social opportunities, which are just, fun ways to get together and be a person outside of cancer. And lastly, because we know that we can't provide everything for someone impacted by cancer, we have information and referral services to other great community organizations that want to support people in their journey.
Awesome. Well, I hope you got some time on your hands because I got questions.
Yeah, of course.
Well, because it's at this point, we know that it's going to touch all of our lives, right? I've had multiple family members of mine that have had cancer, have gone through treatments, are going through treatments currently, friends, neighbors, members of the community. It affects our lives on an almost continual basis, it seems, right? Mm-hmm. To the point where it's almost lost the edge on it. On a societal scale. Do you know what I mean? Like everybody, and on a personal level, obviously that's the worst thing that anyone can hear. But I feel like as society in the 70s or 60s, when you heard of someone getting cancer, I mean, it was nearly unheard of, right? And to find it so prevalent now, that it's so important to have these different clubs, right? Because no one is going through this alone, right? No single person out there is unaffected by this at this point in history. So to have all of these things, the lifestyle classes, absolutely love that. And then having the social stuff after, even after you're cancer free, to not only be, to be in touch with, and to be a light to people who are going through it, right, that are in the middle of their journey maybe, but to you're going to become a different person. I think that oh, absolutely, everyone that goes through and is a survivor or has gone through, and it changes you. It changes you, mind, body, and soul. And I think it separates you in some way, even after survival, from some of the people that that you love, maybe, you know what I mean? Or the people that you are around. Absolutely. For sure, because of those lifestyle choices you've been forced to make, right? And hopefully people, who are survivors, at least it seems in my life, that the people who survive kind of go on to live healthier lives afterwards, right? And to get, right. And that may put you into a different life, it might have been your lifestyle that created the conditions for this cancer to grow in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we do see our members are coming in sometimes the first day they're diagnosed. People will be in their clubhouse saying, "Oh, how can I get involved?" And then we direct them to our new member meeting. But then we also have people that are like, I finished treatment, I'm a survivor, what do I do next? And we're able to help people wherever they're really at with that, but also like their friends, their family members that are also struggling. And, those living with the loss of cancer, because it all touches us in different ways. But being able to provide support in a multitude of ways is very helpful. So they can choose kind of what works best for them. It's kind of like a buffet, except with classes and programs.
Well, and that's what's necessary, because everyone's on their own journey. You need to be able to meet each person where they are at, and you're not trying to force them through some system. You're providing this huge net to catch as many as you can, and to not let people slip through the cracks, and to feel that Absolutely. They're alone. So yeah, it's so important to have, and it is a club, it's not an organization that is, that is kind of telling you what to do. It is for the community, by the community, and I don't know that anyone exemplifies that really more than probably Katy Tessman, friend of the show. Obviously is performing at the show this weekend for the fundraising event. And she's been through it personally, obviously is a huge advocate of what, you are doing up there. And 10 years of doing this, you've kind of seen it all. Renee, how long have you been with the organization?
I have been with the organization for almost 3 years now.
So even in 3 years,
in my short time,
right? Yeah,
even in my short time, I've seen a lot of change. We were just reopening back from being closed for the pandemic, so there's been a lot of shifts and growth and expansion.
And that, I'm sure, led to a lot of getting online and having that online group, and being someone who, what we're building, we've done through a lot of online networking, a lot of Facebook or Instagram, and reaching out to people and then staying connected in that way. The way that Katy and I are connected is through another organization, and, the groups and things that we participate in there. So important to have not only the in-person workshops and all of that group, but some people are too sick to come out, right? So to know that Absolutely. They can just go to their Messenger or their Facebook and open it up and find a group, and that's kind of the light side of social media. And I think the things that people forget, that it was a social network before it was social media.
Exactly.
And that's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it provides an opportunity for those, in greater Minnesota where we're not physically located to have a connection to a cancer community where they're understood, but also with people, even if they are nearby our clubhouse, if they're not feeling the greatest and have low energy, well, they don't have to leave their house. They can still join us and get that support.
That's just wonderful. I think it's just a wonderful thing that you do. So obviously it's a nonprofit organization. How are, you supported? How can our listeners support you? Obviously, we have the fundraiser this weekend, but beyond that, what is kind of the major source of, support for yourselves as a support group?
Yes. Well, any support is really helpful, whether people want to, donate, get involved by volunteering, or become a member themselves. Or maybe they just want to mention our organization to someone they know. They can visit our website, gildasclubmn.org, for more information on all of that. And if they, contact us, we will get back as soon as we can with our, small group of only 6 staff. We'll get back as quickly as possible.
Well, and that's great. So what is... I guess I don't want to say duties, but what are, and benefits is a weird word too. What does a member do, right? What can someone as a member, what can they contribute, I guess, is the way that I want to word it, to the club. And by being a member that is maybe not in treatment or something, is not a survivor, is someone that's, completely cancer free, right? Doesn't have a diagnosis, but still wants to contribute and be a member. What can they kind of expect to be able to contribute to the group, I guess?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of different things that we have going on that they can get involved with. We're always looking for people to, volunteer at outreach events or, spread the word other ways. We look for people to raise money on our behalf, like Katy is, for doing these third-party events. It alleviates some of the planning on our end and also really helps us to... I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, it helps you to get the word out to a new audience, right? Instead of just going out to, your small world, inside of the club. It allows you to reach a much wider audience. And hence why I wanted to have you on the podcast so we can talk about you. And I know it's nerve-wracking, like you said. For you, this is outside of what you do. But I think it's so important to get to know the people that are behind the website, right? And even if you're a little nervous, I think that's very endearing to our listeners, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing a little bit of time and sharing the story of Gilda's Club and Gilda's Club Minnesota, which is doing some great things for people that touch our lives. We're South Dakotans. We're, I say the Sioux Falls area, but we're an hour and a half outside of Sioux Falls. But we're small town South Dakotans, and we see small town people, right? It's why we sent aid down to Tennessee and North Carolina here recently. And we want to support organizations that are helping other small town people kind of wherever they happen to be in the Midwest. I don't know if it's unique to myself, but at this point in time, if you're from a small town, well, we're all from the same small town, buddy. So, and when you start hanging out in these bigger cities, obviously we're getting into the Twin Cities area. You realize that they're a lot smaller than you build them up to be as well. The networks of people and the communities are very small.
Yeah, and it might still be, it's full of a lot of people, but maybe we're not as connected as we could be.
Exactly. Well, and you need so many small communities to make up the larger community. And that's really what we're finding, and why our podcast is finding a home, and why we continue to reach out to folks like yourself who we see doing good things, and to amplify your voice a little bit and to share that story. And then you're able to share this story with your friends and listeners then, right? The people that know you. And then maybe we can get some other, some other things going with you. I got some ideas. You got my fundraising brain going crazy right now. So we're definitely going to be talking a lot more. Ideas. Well, I'm a big idea guy, so I love talking. And
so are we.
I appreciate you giving me a little time today, Renee. It's been a joy once again. Gilda's Club Minnesota. We have Gilda's Club mn.com. They have .org. .org. Sorry, gildasclub.mn.org. I'll make sure the links are right in here.
Just gildasclubmn.org. Just the dot before the org.
You got it. I'll make sure the links are right. Nobody's typing it in anyway.
Perfect.
Awesome, Renee. Well, thanks so much for being part of the show. And for everyone else, remember to make yourself part of the scene. Thank you for listening. Remember to follow us on all your social media channels, and follow our continuing coverage at patreon.com/thesceneprojects. Sign up for our email list and make yourself part of the scene.